Movcam wireless lens control system consists of 3 individual pieces: the hand controller, a motor, and the wireless receiver unit. It all comes in a nice Pelican case that has laser cut foam and space for additional modules if you purchase them. To attach both the motor and the receiver, they use these little sliding rod connectors that can alternate between 15 and 19mm rods. To put it on, you just slide it over a 15mm rod for this instance, and then line up the lens gear and tighten it up, making sure it's secure against your lens. To mount the receiver unit, I'm going to take out the 15mm adapter inside here so I can mount the wireless receiver module onto a 19mm rod. So I put it onto the wireless module and lock it down. I'll then place the receiver module on top of the 19mm viewfinder rod on my area mirror, and then I'll connect it up to the RS port to provide power. Then on the other end into the multi-pin, I'll then connect that up. Then I can now connect the motor by plugging it into there, and then I plug the other end into the motor pin on the system. Now to turn it on, I just hold the power down button for 3 seconds and up it pops. And then on the wireless receiver module, I hold that down as well and it'll pop up again. To calibrate, I just press the calibrate and hold button for 3 seconds, and as you'll see, it's now calibrating my lens. It'll go from one end to the other, so it knows how far the lens travel is at any given time. The hand controller is easy to use and features an illuminated back dial, and you can also use a grease pencil to make markings on the ring. As you can see here, you can get precise focus control at any type of speed or increment. You can see it moving around here on the lens. It's very smooth and the motor remains relatively quiet. To mark points on the system, very easy to use. You just adjust to the point you want, press the limits button and you'll see FA has popped up for our first point. Move it to the second point, press the button again and you'll see FAB has come up. So now when I move the wireless hand controller, it'll only go between those 2 set points that I picked on the lens. Very handy for doing precise focus movements. To get rid of those, you just press the button again and it will clear it out. Also tried using this system to control zoom and it worked very well. You could do very smooth zoom ins at any type of different speed. As you can see here, I also tried it out to control iris and it worked just as well. So let's have a look at the menu system. So press the menu button and the first one here is RF channel, and I can scroll up between 9 different RF channels on the 2.4 GHz frequency. Can then move down to control setup, where I can decide what I want to use the knob for, whether it's focus, iris or zoom. Go down, and if you want to do a 3D setup, you could do a 3D setup. Obviously I don't have any motors and additional devices hooked up to this, so it won't work, but it's good to know you can do that. For the motor setup, this is if you had 3 different motors, optional modules attached. You could actually decide which motor is running the focus, iris and zoom depending on where you put them. You can also change the torque settings anywhere between 1 to 4 depending on the type of lens you're using. If you had it on 1 for say stills lenses and 4 for heavier lenses. You can change the stick speed here anywhere between 1 and 100 at any point there to see how fast you want to use the actual controller to make something. There's also a zap button which automatically gets it to full speed. I press the zap button again, it automatically goes back to the speed I had set previously. You can also change the OLED brightness display on the panel here. You have it on auto or bring it down. Nice if you're using it at night or on set and you want to get rid of it. Also the knob illumination that dials up, you can have it on or off, which is also handy if you're using the device at night. Change the languages between English and Chinese currently, and you can also update it using firmware. If I click about, it'll just tell me what the product model of the device is. The hand controller uses Sony NP batteries. They'll run for about 17 hours. Just click the latch back and insert the battery in. There's no door on it, but the little lever there keeps it securely in. To remove the battery, just click it out and out it comes. Put it back in, and there it is, securely fastened again. On the top here you can see there's a micro SD slot, and there's also a M-bus controller there if you want to hardwire the device, and also there's a little slot there where the additional modules such as the zoom extension unit will fit in. As you can see, there's also a record button here, so I can stop-start different cameras. Here I'm using the ARIA mirror, using the RS port on there to not only power the device but also to enable stop-start capability. Now if you want to hardwire it, you can plug this cable straight into the receiver module and then the other end into the hand controller, and then you'll have hardwired control there, and you'll see this little yellow light pops up on there to let you know that it's hardwired. If you pull it out, you see it goes straight back to wireless as indicated by the green illumination. Put it back in for hardwiring and it goes back to orange again. So there's a look at the Movcam wireless lens control system. It is going to retail for around $3,900 US. For more information, you can head over to Movcam or 16x9 websites.